What up, YouTube Legs? Coming back at you with another custom StarCraft 2 cast spawning. On the bottom left-hand side of the map, it's our orange Xayid player Quoror going up against his opponent spawning on the top right-hand side of the map. It's our red Genetron player Cognite. And yes, I did cast these players last time, but Quoror sent me a bunch of replays to cast that I still have to get through. Now, if you're new to my channel and you think you're going crazy because these races look a lot like the Terran and the Zerg, but they're kind of not, rest assured, my guy, you're not going crazy. We're watching a Custom Scion Races mod. This mod adds 3 new playable races to the StarCraft universe. It's a super sick mod, and if you want to see more of it, please consider subscribing to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, back to the show. Cognite throwing down a scout on the opposing side of the map. It doesn't look like Quoror actually bothered with a scout, and he's gonna go he's gonna go for the expansion, but Cognite blocking it with the analysis terminal. Now, this isn't as bad as like an engineering bay block because the Genetron play a lot more like the Protoss where building is concerned. They basically 3D print their structures. It's hilarious. So we'll see if this gets canceled, and it actually does, but Quoror deciding, you know what? We're not going to deal with that. We're going to go ahead and expand in the third base location. This scavenger trying to get revenge for that harassment right there, and Cognite throwing down an expansion of his own. So this does look to be a potential macro game, but as usual, this does not rule out any sort of 2-base shenanigans. And now it looks like Quoror deciding to go and send a scout of his own over, but personally, I think he's still out for blood. I think he wants to kill this ACR. He wants to get vengeance, man. He will see that there's an expansion for Cognite, and will see that there are blitzers being built. So one really cool thing about the Genetron, maybe not if you're playing them, is you can see what's being built out of your barracks equivalent. So we have a manufacturer right here, and we can actually see what's being built right there. It's being printed in the manufacturer. It is so sick. So there's our blitzer. Now, the Blitzer's like a tier 1.5 unit, I want to say. I want to say it's like a Marauder, more or less. So this is like one up from a Marine. And it does shoot up and down. That's the only difference, though. It's not like a Marauder where it only shoots down. No, it shoots both up and down. It is super cool. Worker supply, relatively even. 26 workers to 24, nothing crazy. Army supply, 6 to 5, also nothing crazy, which I would expect at 3 minutes in the game, unless we saw some sort of proxy. And here we go. One of my all-time favorite units for the Genetron is the processor. This thing is so annoying to deal with. It's like a high-speed uncloaked observer. It has detection, and it's so good for scouting. It is just so outrageously fast that every time I see it, I want to crush my mouse. But it's fine. It's fine. So here we go. We do have the Xayidlings, which actually do shoot up. For some reason, I thought they only shoot down, but no, I'm wrong. They do shoot up. This processor getting almost about halfway down, but does survive, and I'm assuming Cognite's going to be saving that for a rainy day. We also have a repulsor here, which is interesting. So the repulsor is static defense, not something that you typically see, and we also see what are, oh wow, that was some good distance. So this is going to psych out Cognite. So what we're seeing here is the scour ability from the Xayid unit called the Roamer. Now, the Roamer is an anti-ground unit, I want to say, but now I really can't remember. But it does have an ability called Scour, which shoots a green ball of goo that explodes into a small radius of vision. The only way you can get rid of it is if you destroy that green ball of goo before it explodes, and there you go. So now this is permanent vision until this expires. So not permanent vision, but it can't be destroyed, basically. So here we go. Now this is vision for Quoror until this expires, and the only way to get rid of that is by nipping it at the bud. You have to destroy it before it explodes. Both players are happy to be chilling right now, but okay, no, for a second I wanted to say Cognite wasn't expanding, and just as I was about to say it, I saw a little red thing pop up on the middle right-hand side of the map, and yes, it is a processing core. So the processing core, the command center equivalent for the Genetron. And you guys, this is so cool. Seeing Quoror just constantly keeping eyes on the middle of the map, making sure he doesn't get caught off guard, keeping his bases safe. What a really good tactic with those roamers, but at the same time, it looks like we have some blitzers coming in to do some damage on the orange side of the map. And you guys, it's been a really long week. I have to work 2 graveyard shifts, back-to-back graveyard shifts, starting this weekend on top of my regular work schedule. So 8 to 5 Friday, and then same day Friday, midnight to 9 a.m. into Saturday, and then I repeat that on Sunday. Sleep has left the chat, and you know what, you guys, if you don't hear from me by like Wednesday next week at the time of posting this video, just assume that I've died. Assume that I will no longer be casting StarCraft games, and there will be a funeral, and I hope StarCraft will remember me well. But in all seriousness, I do hope I survive, because I'm super scared of not sleeping for 2 days. I'm gonna try and catch sleep wherever I can, but Friday's going to be brutal. Like, working my regular shift and then graveyard Friday into Saturday is so dumb. And I'm exempt from overtime, you guys. This is basically for free, which is super annoying. But here we go. We have an engagement in the middle of the map. We do have this feeding pool support. So the feeding pool, it's like a supply depot for the Xayid, and it also heals up to 3 Xayid units. So it's a really good placement to have in the middle of your 2 expansions. And here we go. We have the processor doing a flyby, checking out literally all the tech that the Xayid has. That is so annoying, man. I would have been cursing at my computer. I'd be like, what the hell is this? What is this stuff, man? This ain't right. This ain't right. Here we go. We have some bile pits being built, but they may go down. One of them does go down. No cancel on that one. The bile pit is static defense 4 for the Xayid. And now we have Cognite playing a really defensive game. Worker supply is in favor of Cognite, 66 to 57. Army supply, though, in favor of Cognite, 52 to 31, so a much bigger lead where the army supply is concerned. We also have the fixers. This is like the medic for the Genetron. They're more like engineers, I guess, because the Genetron are all robots. So what would you call that? Like, what would you call a medic that heals your mechanical units? It's got to be an engineer, right? But we got an engagement in the middle of the map with that feeding pool support. Cognite realizing, you know what? Maybe I should wait till I have a bit of a bigger army. 1 attack upgrades for both players and nothing else. So yeah, now I'm fixated on this. What's the oh, by the way, no pun intended. Fixers. I guess, yeah, they got to be engineers, but what if your entire species are robots? Would doctors be engineers then? It's like, oh, I got to go to the engineer. One of my bolts is rusted. I don't know, man. Here we go, another engagement in the middle of the map. We have the Eroder, which is an anti-armor unit as far as I'm concerned for the Xayid. And this is looking like a really scary army for Quoror, forcing Cognite on the retreat. This is a really scary army, though. The Blitzers have a really interesting ability where they can go hyperspeed for about, I want to say, 4 seconds and either engage armies, catch retreating armies, or retreat themselves. So they are a really good unit. We don't have the Spitfire. The Spitfire is the Marine equivalent for the Genetron, but they do not shoot up. So I want to say that, honestly, the Blitzer is an S-tier unit, and the Aquila as well is by far an S-tier unit. It's really expensive to build. This is more like a tier 2.5 unit, I would call it. It has some ridiculous DPS. But nonetheless, it looks like Cognite deciding to split his army and then engage this Xayid army. We have those electric grenade things that are thrown down by the Achilles as far as I remember. And now we have Cognite going for the retreat, deciding that he wants to get more of an army, I guess, and also expand in the middle of the map right here. And he's got, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4 bases to what is also 1, 2, 3, 4 bases, not quite 4 bases for the Xayid player. We have a 4th base coming down. We have these 2 bases which have been in existence for quite a while. So Quoror has not really been on top of his expansions going into this mid-game. And Quoror hiding in the bushes, he's lying in wait. He's like, they will not find us. They will not find us. And then they get found by the processor. Of course, the processor. It's always the processor, man. Always is, always has been. Cognite deciding to have some beef with these rocks and then gets attacked by the orange Xayid player, retreating to what is going to be the support of this static defense. This repulsor is almost finished and forcing the retreat on Quoror, and simultaneously sees what tech there is in case he's missed something. Taking a look at the production tab, we see what I believe is +2 attack upgrades coming in for our Xayid player, and plus, what is this? Either 2 or 3 attack upgrades. Oh, +3 attack upgrades for our red Genetron player. So Cognite doing a great job at being on top of his expansions. This processor almost going down. I don't know what attacked it though. It must have been these bile pits. So somehow still alive, even in the face of 2 bile pits, which would be like flying through like, I don't know, 2 photon cannons and not dying. Bro, they are so fast, man. It's so outrageous. Cognite deciding to beef with these rocks, but actually it makes sense because he's opening up the line between his 2 expansions. Will be able to defend that way more easily. At the same time, at the bottom right-hand side of the map, we have another expansion for Cognite. So Cognite is expanding like a literal psychopath. And here we go. Cognite with the massive army. Quoror trying to get the surround on this, but these blitzers are just way too fast. Going back to the support of the static defense back home. Taking a look at the army supply, 62 army supply, now 70 army supply to 109. So we have an army supply lead for our red Genetron player. Both of these players are playing a really cautious game, and I can feel my voice leaving. But we're still in it. We're still in it, man. But yeah, both players are playing a really cautious game, keeping their armies alive. Actually, taking a look at the resources lost, dude. We're at almost 13 minutes into the game, and only almost 6,000 resources lost for orange and 4,200 for red. So both of these players playing ridiculously efficient. And we have a run by of Xayidlings in the middle of the map. I want to say this is the 3rd base location for Cognite. Cognite splitting his army wisely, going to engage these Xayidlings just a little bit late at the time of the arrival of those units. Taking a look at the workers killed, 13 workers killed by Quoror, only 2 killed by Stassin. Sorry, not Stassin, Cognite. I just did a cast with Stassin, which is why I called him Stassin. This is my 2nd cast today. Now Cognite, I wonder if he's gonna beef on these rocks too. I really feel like he is. Yeah, he's squared up and now he's beefing with these rocks, which is actually a really wise choice. This is going to open up the entire kind of middle right-hand side of the map for him. So he's got an expansion on the right-hand side of the map, and he's got an expansion kind of like on the middle right-hand side of the map. So that's going to allow him to protect both of those bases way more efficiently, and also allow him to have a lot more mobility around this part of the map and engage the orange Xayid army in ways that would benefit him way more. Now we have what is going to be a potential run by to the right-hand side of the map, but the unfortunate thing here is we have a natural wall of golden minerals. So Quoror's going to have to run around, but I don't think Cognite has noticed this, and we have what is also going to be a drop in the main base, while we have a simultaneous engagement in the middle of the map with the Badgers with their ridiculous air-to-ground DPS. This is like a tier 3 unit, but it's like it's not quite a capital ship, but it's basically the capital ship for the Genetron. It's the biggest flying thing that they can build. That is for sure. We have the attempted surround on this army. We do have the drop of roamers in the main base for our red Genetron player. But Cognite with these Badgers cleaning up the Xayid army. Now suddenly it's 101 army supply to 62, way in favor for Cognite, and Cognite going towards the 3rd base location for the orange Xayid player. These roamers finally going to be going down. This Badger with the 3 kills, able to clean up the roamers in the main base for the red player. And we also have the exterminators, man. We have not seen these units for so long. They have such ridiculous air-to-air DPS, but I feel like this is too many Badgers. The Exterminators, a valiant attempt on those Badgers, will ultimately go down. And now this is looking really scary. This is giving me flashbacks to every time I faced carriers in ladder. Oh, this is brutal. This is brutal. These Badgers are being left unchecked. The natural base does go down for Quoror. Now Quoror is throwing a valiant effort to stay in this game, but I think this is likely just as good as done. Unfortunately, Quoror has 43 workers to 71, so honestly, he has a decent worker supply, but he's now on 2 bases and virtually only 1 mining base. The main base is almost mined out, while Cognite has basically the entire right-hand side of the map expanded on. What a crazy, crazy matchup. Quoror trying to push back the red Genetron army. He's like, not today, I will not lose, but ultimately sees that the game is over, throwing out the GG, giving the victory to Cognite. Man, but he's still in this game, so I think Quoror just wants to see how this ends. But yeah, man, Quoror saying Badgers are so dirty, and yeah, dude, the Badgers are crazy. They have that shell ability that keeps them alive, but Quoror ultimately leaving the game, giving the victory to Cognite. What a wild one. If you enjoyed what you saw, please consider shooting me a like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you want me to cast any of your own games, I will leave my email and Discord in the description below. And I'll see you guys on the next one.